Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video. Well, it might not just be today, it might take me a few days, where I'm going to be attempting to make a denim throw. I've got a few pictures from Pinterest as like examples of what I want to do, but I will probably follow my own way, but just so I can sort of know what I'm doing. On the one side I'm going to do the denim, on the other side I wanted to do fake fur, but it is very expensive yeah, in South Africa. I don't know about overseas, but yeah, it was, I almost fell over when I saw the price. So I'm going to be doing fleece instead. So I'm going to be using denim that I've kept all my denims over the years that have gotten damaged, usually on the inside of your legs. And I know like other ladies out there that are plus size, they will know that that's usually the first place it starts ripping. So I've kept all of those. I'm going to be using those denims to make the throw, and then I thought I'd just bring you with so you can see if I make it a complete disaster or if I actually get it right. I just want to show you my pile of denims. It's in my holder with my the same holder as where my patterns are. So I'm going to show you. I probably won't use all the denim, but we'll see, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the denims. As you can see, there's a lot of them. Okay, so let's get into the video. I love being creative and trying new things in my journey through life. Writing best practices, tips and tricks, sharing updates on my own writing and books with different tutorials sprinkled in between. I enjoy sharing my knowledge. There's music covers and original pieces written and composed by me. Handmade jewelry reveals, sewing videos, other crafts, poetry reading, book reviews, and many, many more. Come and join me on this journey, and let's have fun together. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the material I got to, like the fake fur that I got to back the denim blanket with. So this is what it looks like. It's very soft. Try and get away from the light. There we go. See, it's very soft. And then on the back it looks like this. So yeah, this is going to be on the back of the blanket. And now I'm going to basically just put this on the ground, and then I'm going to start cutting the jeans to fit into the blanket. I'm trying to make the blanket 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. So let's see how it goes, if I've got enough jeans for all of that. Yeah, just so you know what I'm doing, I was marking where the material is, because I don't want to stand on the material the whole time. And then I also need to know, because I'm going to be leaving this much of a border, because I would like the material to, I'd like the fur to make a border around the material. So I'll show you a picture now on the screen of sort of an idea of like what I would like to do with the border and with the fur. I must say, so far the hardest thing is cutting the stuff and getting it to fit nicely in that. I didn't do a template because I thought I'm going to be doing different sizes of the material, but if I have to be honest, if I have to do this again ever, I would rather do templates, either just the block templates or, excuse me, or I would do the templates for the long pieces and then templates for the smaller pieces, and then I would fit it out first. You see, this is what happens when you don't plan your thing properly up front, and I'm a bit bad with that sometimes. I just want to get it done, so I don't always plan, but it'll come out fine. It'll just take a little bit more work when it comes to sewing it all together and fitting it together. But so far I think it's looking quite nice. We'll see how it goes today. I'm going to be cutting the rest. I think I'll be able to finish cutting out the rest of the material, and then I'll start pinning, because what you have to do is you have to work according to the thing I saw on Pinterest. You have to pin each strip together and then sew it, each strip separately. And then when you've sewn each strip separately, then you have to pin all of these together and then sew them all together. And then when that's done, then you have to sew it onto the fur or whichever material you're using as backing. So let's get started for today. Okay, so I've now cut out all the blocks and stuff, and now I'm just going to be pinning them together. And well, I'm going to be pinning the strips together. Yeah, it's not easy working on the floor. So if you have a table, obviously that will work much better for you, but yeah, it's not the easiest thing working on the floor, because it's also cold, because it's now becoming winter. Yeah, so I've got my little baby chair and now I'm going to start pinning from this side. I've brought a Koki with, because what I want to do is when I'm finished pinning a side, I'm going to number it from 1 to 7 so that I know where, like, which ones go where, just so I don't have to leave this on the floor. Many hours later. I've now pinned every strip together. It doesn't take as long as what I thought it would take, but it's not a very fast exercise either. And now I'm going to have to go and sew each of them together, which I'm going to do with my machine. I did buy thread, which I'll show you when I'm sitting by the machine. It's for denim. I asked for denim thread, so it's thicker, because otherwise, I'm sure anyone that sews denim, you know that it rips open easily if you just use normal thread. So I bought the denim thread, and I bought it in a dark blue so that it matches the blue of the denim and also the blue of the fake fur. I only got 3 rolls. I hope it's enough, because I have to also do the bobbin with the same thread, so we'll just see how it goes. Let me show you what they look like, or just like what one looks like. Okay, so this is number 7 because I wrote the number on it. And then this is what it looks like pinned. Obviously now we just have to sew it. If you want to see what the back is. Okay, and then I'm going to need to sew. So first what I'll do is I will sew the straight one. Straight. I can't think of the word. Anyway, so what I'll do first is I'll sew the straight one, and then I'll do the zigzag, because I use zigzag as my overlock because I don't have an overlocking machine. As if you've been here before, you'll know that. So I do the zigzag to keep it together, and then I'll just sew this. I'm going to try and sew closer to the edge, but I don't want to sew too close because then, as you know, it might just pull apart. But that's what I'll be doing. And then I'll show you what I do after that. Okay, so we are in day 3. And well, it's towards the end of day 3 now. So I'm going to start with the sewing. But I'm going to show you first the cotton that I got. And then, yeah, I have to put the cotton onto a empty bobbin. So for the bottom. But I'll show you the cotton now that I got for it. Okay, so this is the cotton that I got. It's by Gutterman 232 polyester. They said that it was for denim. You can actually see, if I give you another one, you can see the difference in how thick the thread is. Can you see the difference? Move it up a bit. So you can see the difference in the thickness of the thread. Now I need to put it on the bobbin. Okay, so this thick thread keeps on messing with my sewing machine. And it's even now broken my needle. I don't know if you can see here. So I have to change the needle. And then I'm also just going to Google what to put the tensions on with thick thread. And just see, maybe I'm doing something wrong because I haven't ever sewn with a thick thread before. So I'm just going to check that out, and then I will get back to sewing. Okay, so I did Google and I found out they say that this Gutterman is a top stitch, this one, the 232, and they recommend you use a thinner thread for the bottom stitch. So I'm just going to use, it's not exactly the same color, so this one, let me grab a I'm holding the phone with my hand now, my other hand. Let me try and do this. So they're not exactly the same color, but it doesn't matter because you're not going to see it, it's underneath. And I'm going to be using this one now for the bottom stitch, and then obviously this one for the top stitch. Let's see if it works now and that I don't break my sewing machine. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew it by hand with that thread because my machine does not want to know the story of that thread. So I've been trying to see like what the tension should be, but every time I just put that thread name in, all I get is advertisements for it. So I'm going to basically just sew it by hand with the thread, and then I'll have to use just normal thread to do the zigzagging, you know, at the edge. But I do want to sew it with the thread because I know that normal thread pulls out, so I want it to be thick thread. So yeah, it's gonna take me a while. All right, so it is now many days after the last the last clip that you saw in the video, because the problem was I sewed everything by hand. It took me a long time, and you can actually see, like, yeah, where the thick thread is, the thick one, that one I did by hand. And then I wanted to also sew it with normal thread. Like you can see, I want to do just because when you pull it open on the other side, that thick thread, because I did it by hand, it didn't look so nice. So I wanted to use a machine thread over it and then do the zigzag on the edge. Needless to say, I think when I used the thick thread on the bottom and the top, I messed up the timing of my sewing machine, so I had to also take that in to be fixed, and that took quite a while because they take long to fix it. And then I've now finally got it back, and I was able to do the sewing. So I've done all of them, all the strips. It's the first time ever that I've finished something like this on one project. You know, because it's the thick Gutsman one, which I did by hand. I'm now going to press, because I'm here with ironing board, and I'm going to be pressing these open, because some of them, as you can see, it's like folded over. You see, like that. And then also I want it just to be nicely pressed open, so that I can when I pin all of these together onto each other, then it's not going to be wrong because it's not pressed out nice and neatly. So I'm just going to do that quickly, and then I'm going to start pinning it together. And then I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm going to sew it by hand again, just together. Just to make sure that I've got, because denim is difficult, so just to make double sure that it's not going to pull loose. And so I'm going to first sew it. I'm going to first sew it by hand, and then what I'll do is I'll sew it like I did with these, where I'll sew the machine thread, the straight one, and then also the zigzag edges. And yeah, then I'll come back to you when that's done. Don't you just love it when you drop the pins on the floor all over? I have to pick them up. Pins picked up. Now I can carry on. Okay, so I've pinned it together. But what I saw was that like on this side I made it all even, obviously, because I was pinning it from the top, but at the bottom it's not even at all. You can see. So now I'm going to have to fix that first. I don't have extra stuff here by my mom's place, so I'm just going to have to make it all the same length, which means I'm going to have to cut some of it shorter that I've already sewn on, and just do that, because I'd like to get this thing finished. So, and I'm still going to be here for a while looking after my grandfather, so I'm going to first sew it before I cut it shorter. And then, because I've made that mistake before where I cut it before I sewed it and then it wasn't right. So I'll first sew it and then I'll cut it. Also because I keep getting stuck with pins. Alright, I have now hand sewn the pieces together to make it all in one piece. I'm now going to use my sewing machine to sew over it and then also do the edges. And then I'm going to pin it to the, the fluffy blanket thing that I bought to do the other side. And then, yeah, we'll sew that. We'll see how that goes. What I can tell you is I'm really angry with myself that I didn't do templates, because I've had to cut off, because I showed you in the past clip that there were pieces on this side, the the pieces on this side were too long, some of them. So I had to cut off a whole lot of pieces. So that meant like pieces that I'd sewn on and taken the time sewn on, I had to actually cut off a whole lot of it. So I was quite angry with myself. But you know, you live and learn, and you know, Ondeane doesn't like to always measure, which is my nemesis. I need to start doing that because I just shoot myself in the foot when I don't. Alright, I have now sewn all the pieces together with the machine, and I have like zigzagged them, as you can see, and I've tried to like take off most of the little fluffies, but I'm not going to get it right for everything. And then I've also like tried to take off most of the fluffies on the outside before I pin it to the backing. But this is what it looks like now, all sewn together. I'm quite happy with what it looks like so far. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to lay out the fluffy material, the fake fur, with the fake fur side showing upwards and this side showing onto the fake fur, and then I'm going to pin them together, the edges. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do in the corner. I'll have to see how I'm going to do the corners. I did see a post about it, blog post. I think I'll probably open that and check what they've done, and then yeah, and then I can sew that together when I've finished doing that. Sew together and overlock together, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Then it should be finished actually, but then I have to turn it inside out. That's right, inside out, because I have to leave a spot open so I can turn it inside out, and then overlock each side separately, and then put it together and sew it. So we'll see how it goes. This is supposed to have a what you call it, border. So now to keep the border, when I've folded the material, I think I'm going to sew on here with like a pretty thread, you know, with a pretty thread pattern, and just see what it looks like. Okay, so I finished sewing the edges together, and then I also turned it inside out. Sorry I didn't film that, I was busy deep in thought and concentration. But I turned it all inside out, and then what I did tape beforehand, as you saw, was where I was pinning it closed, the gap where I pulled it inside out, and then how I sewed it closed. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put safety pins every here and there just to hold it together, and then I'm going to tack in between, yeah, like this, just here and there, to keep it that it doesn't like move apart from each other, because it can be a little bit irritating. It is very heavy. So even sewing, I had to like put it onto the table, and then it keeps pulling, trying to pull out of the sewing machine because it's so heavy. But it is very warm, I must say. So yeah, I can't wait to use it. But I also can't wait to be finished, because this has been a very long project, like no joke. So I'm going to quickly pin that with the safety pins, and then I'm going to tack it, and then I will show you what it looks like. We'll do the reveal. It is finally done. So this is the back, and this is the denim part. There's a few things that I would do differently. Like I said, I would definitely have templates so that I could cut the stuff out the right size. I would also do my measurements better because you know, I didn't get to do it exactly the way I wanted to because of measurements. And basically I would know next time how to use the thick thread so that I don't destroy my sewing machine. Because when I actually had my machine, then it went a bit faster. But because I had to do a lot of stuff by hand, it took like really long. But otherwise, I'm very happy and very, yes, very proud of the outcome. It did take quite a while, but I'm happy with it. So I'll show you what it looks like nice and close. Reveal time. So that is the video. If you enjoyed it, if you can please give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed already, if you can please do so and click the subscription block below. It shows support for my channel, which I also really do appreciate. And if you click the little bell notification, it will inform you when I have uploaded a video. So all of my social media is in the description block below, including my blog, which is where you'll find more content from me. And also if you go to www.patreon.com/Ondeane Lourens, you'll also find more content from me. And it's also the best place for you to support what I do on this channel and then also what I do on my blog. I hope that you have a lovely day further. Keep your crystal on and your sparkle strong. Goodbye.